What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Happy Thursday, Coffee and Convo.
Convo. Yes. So.
Jason, Esther.
Right.
Boom.
So
Boom.
today we are going to talk about the term ministry.
Yes.
Some people, when they hear that, they get super excited and they're like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are, when they hear that term, it's like, oh, it's so limiting to what I feel called to. And some people are kind of in the middle. They're like, I feel there's something outside of this. I don't really know. So anyway, we are going to talk about that today. Last month, we were really focusing on, our foundation as individuals, our value to Father, our life in Him, and how we go from there. This month, we want to talk about and discuss.
Because it is a new month.
It is a new month.
April.
Crazy.
That's cool. Anyway. Yeah, sorry. I interrupted you.
You can chat. You can chat in a minute.
Yes.
But this month we want to focus on having influence, having impact, serving, how we can serve the world. So last month was the foundation of our individual value, process, blah, blah, blah. This month, let's look at impact and influence, process, and whatever, different points on that. So
it's going to be a good one. So if you have any questions, of course,
cheers,
always. Baby. Cheers. Look, we have switched. I am drinking out of my favorites.
Yes. And here's to you guys. Cheers.
Yes.
May today be a day you continue to experience Father God as abundance. As abundance. Life and life more abundantly. Love in abundance. Hope in abundance. And many more. So here's to you.
But this time you actually interrupted me.
Yes.
Let us know where you're watching from. Say hi. We always love interaction. And if you have any questions or anything resonates with you, let us know. Love to know.
Yes, we would. So.
Yes.
Let's set some ground rules.
Some ground rules. Okay.
We're going to talk about the term ministry, right?
Yes.
And so we champion people in any sphere of influence where they are called, where they feel their expression is, where they feel Father is leading them, right? I mean, that's our big message. That's our hearts. Right. And so if the term ministry excites you, we are not saying that's not valuable. Actually, we support and champion you in that space.
Huge.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my word.
But a big percentage of people aren't called kind of in the traditional, and we'll get into that more a little bit later, but the traditional ministry sense. Right. They have expressions other places in other spheres of influence, and we want to champion you in that space as well. Yeah. So we are not saying that fivefold ministry is not valid. Right. Like, we're not even talking about that today. That's not the type of ministry we're talking about. We believe fivefold ministry has a value. Yeah. We are not talking about functional differences and anointings and callings. We're not eliminating, the difference in function in people, the different in calling, the different identities people have. We are not talking about that or eliminating that. So before everyone wants to throw stones and be like, what?
Yeah.
That's not what we are saying.
Well, and I think that's just a good thing to say from the beginning. This is where we come from, and this is, but you need to explain a little bit what the tradition.
Hold on, we are going to have a discussion.
He's going. See, I'm on bread.
Don't jack up the train.
Okay.
Of course, you don't know what we're talking.
No,
you don't know what we're talking about until we jump on.
Like, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. Okay, like a minute before we push like.
Okay, so. And then there's those of you who are like, well, this whole ministry thing it feels like it boxes you in, or you're not sure, like, anyway, moving forward, how you navigate that. And so we want to speak to you today as well. Yeah. So, ministry as a term, it's become both exciting and limiting because of the meaning we've attached to it, right? Like, not necessarily the true form of, or, we're not breaking down and saying what is actual ministry, but
No,
it's
but
it's
what
the
would
term
be
and the
your-
value as individuals that we put on
Right.
that term that has become the limiting factor, right? And that's the biggest thing for each of us to own.
Yes.
Is what meaning, whether someone intended for that meaning to be made or not.
Right.
Like you attach,
Yeah.
each of the people watching attach a certain meaning to the word ministry, a certain description, picture of it,
Right.
and therefore it is something that excites them and motivates them, or it's something that's not,
Right.
because they feel something inside of them, identity, calling, expression, and they're trying to fit it, and the identity they put to that word, the term ministry, either lines up to what they feel or it doesn't, and so there's that limiting factor.
Well, yeah, but for me, whenever I use in my past understanding, I hear that word, it immediately only fits in the church. That for what I grew up understanding about it, and so that immediately boxes you in only that understanding. And so also with like being full-time and not doing anything else, or or like missions or whatever, like
Sure.
that understanding of this person is in the ministry, that is what it looks like.
So again, what we want to do is champion you to take ownership of the definition you've given to ministry internally for yourself, and own how you feel about that, how you interpret that, how you build forward from that, right? So
so that would be your definition from your past understanding, like the tradition.
So the thing we found is a lot of people, and I know internally we as well, we've had ministry looks like this type of expression. And so for people who are not necessarily maybe either called to fivefold ministry or called to impacting the church or the gathering, or whatever sphere in that, they're still stuck with this struggle of ministry is something holy, this thing of ministry, and called to the church is holy, and anything outside of that is not. It's more second class.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not as valuable.
Lower, yeah.
And so, yes, you may have a job, you may run a business, you may find yourself.
Because I feel like that a lot of the other mountains, spheres of influence, in my past understanding, I would consider that, that's the world, and we're not part of that, and we're not, supposed to even desire to be somebody out there, Sure. So your desires should be all for here. And, that's just not true. And it's just, through religion, it just boxes you in, really. And then if you have certain, things, desires or skills or things that you actually don't find much within the church. I don't know if I'm giving the right definition to things,
but that's fine.
Always
that's
like,
fine.
but does that make sense?
Right. So, the church as a whole has been moving from the understanding of ministry as in only vocational ministry or ministry within the church. This whole fivefold ministry is ministry, and everything else isn't. There's a type of, in Ephesians it talks about being equipped for the work, the saints being equipped for the work, the employment of ministry, the whole concept. I'm not trying to go everywhere, but as you look at a lot of the terms in the Bible that are the original words for ministry, it talks with serving, whether serving God, serving people. That's kind of coming from that. And we know in kingdom, kingdom value says, I come to serve. I govern out of a servant's heart. Right. You know, I bring upgrades to people. I impact the world because I serve, because I love. Jesus came, and he came as a servant to all. You know, he served in order to transform, to bring reformation. And so in that sense, it's like, okay, not equalizing people, not talking about function, but just as in, I believe each person is called to some sort of ministry, serving, administrating the kingdom, 100%. Administrating the heart and will of Father, right? So that's the point of view we sit in. Coming from a past, ministry looks like in the church, you know, a platform or a pastor or the fivefold ministry to, okay, you know, the saints, the believers are also need to be out there administrating the kingdom, serving the world, serving their spheres, their mountains of influence, as well as when you begin to understand the kingdom is governmental, right? Yeah. It is family, but then there's the governmental aspect, and there are governmental offices around the world that come into this place. Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education. And so if you understand, hey, I'm an ambassador, I'm a governor on the earth as a son, as a king, as a son of the king, and a king on earth. Therefore, I also, there's an office, a governmental office where I serve from.
And I think that's the whole understanding of seeing yourself just as that when you are in a job or somewhere, that you're there to serve and that you are there to make a difference and to have influence. Yes, to change things that, you know, just to bring heaven to earth wherever you are. And I think instead of always thinking like this is temporary and I want to get out of this and I want to do something more.
So that's you what know? Kind of burns on our heart, right? Is there's this subconscious feeling because of a value system that each individual has decided to place on the word ministry. And a lot of people I find are like, I'm here, I'm existing here, but there's this thing called ministry out here that where I'm at now is not valuable. Father doesn't actually care, and I need to get over here. And they don't enjoy, they don't impact, they don't influence, they don't. It's just survival. And it's like, yeah, but Father created us to thrive. Yes, we continue to grow. Yes, please see more for where he's taking you. See more possibilities. But be free to embrace, you know, have influence and impact. Love well where you're at. Serve well. And keep moving to the spot, knowing that it's not less holy. Right. Because you've put a certain definition to that word. So again, we are talking about the term and the definition that you've put to the word ministry. I'm not trying to beat that up. Ministry in itself and what that expression means to you. And just being free to completely express in that space. And sometimes, let me just throw this thought in here, because, you know, we look at serving and we say, okay, you know, I want to bring this, let me say it this way. A kingdom value can just be doing a job well with kingdom principles. It doesn't, because some people, they're like, I'm an employee, and okay, I understand that this is my place of ministry, so let me try to do church or gathering type expressions. Let me try to be kind of use my Christianese and churchese in this place, and you're jacking up your employer, the business. So you're not actually serving well. You're becoming a hindrance because you want to talk about Jesus to everyone. And that, again, I think in that understanding too, is like, what is your definition of ministry? You can really stand out by the way you live your life,
by the way you do business, or by the way you teach your kids in education, or take care of if you're a principal of a school, and take care of your teachers, and the way you serve. And I actually believe that if you are that king or queen that outserves everybody else in the room, and you serve well, that you will stand out, and that you will actually become somebody in that sphere of influence because of the way that you are and the way you do things. And I believe there will be many opportunities where you can actually, speak with someone, or speak into their situation, or speak life, but it's more about being Jesus than speaking him all the time. I think that's another thing where, from past religion or whatever we have learned growing up, it was always like, well, if you're not super radical and just saying to everybody, you need to get saved and your life needs to be changed, or you're going somewhere you do not want to go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and if you did not do that all the time, I definitely came from that.
Of course,
like
we want to lead people to Father. We want to train and disciple people. We want to build, I believe, build relationship, love and serve well.
Yes,
100%. And you can say, and that's become kind of a catchphrase, and there's nothing wrong with it, but outserve everyone in the room. Well, you could say, I'm a low-level employee. Like, how do I outserve everyone in the room? Well, just
by the way,
just own your strengths, value people around you, and be intentional. This is the big thing, intention, right?
100%.
And that's why we're talking about the word, because unintentionally, you're intentionally sabotaging your moment if you have an idea that where I'm at is not pleasing the Father, and it's not holy, because there's not some sort of picture of ministry. Or you could say, I'm called to ministry, but I don't see that expression yet, that whatever ministry looks like to you, right?
Listen, at the end of the day, we are here to shift and change culture to make it look like heaven, okay? How on earth is that going to happen if everybody wants to not be there, but be all here?
But intentionally pressing in and being aware for ideas. So we're talking about, if I'm a low-level employee, what does that look like out serving? Well, just getting ideas, maybe small practical tip on how you can change the filing system at work or whatever. Just find solutions. Or just because your coworkers suddenly feel so valued, they were hurting, they were broken, you were someone to talk to, you created another level of team and community within that company, that change. And they may never prop you up and say, well, let's make you the manager of the department or the team leader. But because you brought value to the people, you showed up in your space. And of course, you have many spheres of influence when you begin to look at it. So,
but also I think you need to not disregard that if you cannot find, you're not lit up by the word of ministry, or that whatever the definition is, but you have certain desires or
right,
but not drawing a blank, but like we say desires a lot. It's not about you.
No. So we speak from a place of we talk in an assumption that we are speaking to people who are pressing into Father, who are seeking His face, who 100%. Have drawn close to His heart.
100%.
So where it's not about me, it's about Him. but
Yes.
things are for us.
Yes.
That we recognize there's dreams, and there are dreams and passions even from birth.
Yeah.
Before we changed
Yeah.
and were told they weren't good, that Father placed inside of us. So we find all that in Him.
Yes.
And from that place,
Absolutely.
we are talking about desires
Yeah.
that we are saying not every desire is evil and wicked, because we believe Father had a hand in
So
that.
listen, if you always had a knack for making money and that just, interests you and excites you and to make a difference and impact in culture through business or that's one example or whatever. I mean, press into those things. If you don't see or hear that in the church, but don't just disregard that. But like, maybe, what if that is something Father has laid upon your heart? As your heart is, surrendered to Him, oh my word, maybe you are the next, Elon Musk, or and maybe not. Maybe you're a super good support.
Yeah, nothing wrong.
Maybe you're a super good support.
High percentage of you will be supporting roles.
Or a
and maybe not even a CEO, just a support to the company.
To a CEO.
I said, some will be a support to a CEO. Some that's overwhelming, and they just want to be a support to the general mission, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh my word, maybe you're just super caring, and you just want to care for everybody, and want to open your house for, people that feel less fortunate or have had horrible things happen to them, or whatever. But like, just don't disregard that, but like, find that value within yourself with Father, saying, hey, that's for a reason,
So may you show up powerfully today, reframing the word ministry to where no matter where you find yourself and where you find your influence, that word speaks, it brings excitement to you and propels you into your full identity and purpose. Yeah. So whether you're called as a fivefold minister to equip saints, to impact the church mountain in that sphere, may that bring excitement. Whether you're called as the higher percentage of other people who are called to, those fivefold ministers are serving, or you're called to serve somewhere else and administrate the kingdom and be in a governmental role somewhere else in the world, may that also excite you when you hear the word ministry. Not put it in a box of, just look at the definition, and may it inspire you and lead you into the authenticity that Father has placed inside of you and where He has placed you with influence. So that every day you're not existing, surviving, hoping one day to achieve this picture of ministry that you put out there, but may you be powerful in authenticity, in the love of Father, with His heart every day, knowing this is of value to Father. He has placed me here. There's not some holier expression out there, again, not equalizing function, but Father doesn't say, well, this one's holier and this one's less holy, and I wish you would just get up and over there, everybody. No, He's like, put you as salt and light. We are salt and light in the world. We are, original intent for mankind was just the connection between heaven and earth, and living out their kingship, just living out life with Father as Father saw things, and so walking in that, where you are excited and thriving in everything Father has for you. And so if you have to redefine what that term ministry means to you, so that you can show up with conviction, no matter what that expression looks like.
And we had to do the same thing, and give yourself, space for that, and dig into that. And then even if you don't know that definition yet, or you're not confident in that, don't disregard that, but just search after those things, that Father has put inside of you.
Because
and change the world.
You
'Cause you
are
can.
you are the connection point
Yeah.
between heaven and earth.
Yes.
You are, Father God has a high value for humanity,
Yeah.
for you and for
Yeah.
the people around you. The kingdom is about bringing upgrades, transformation, the original intent of Father for people, for cities, for nations, for industries, all that. And we are the change, right?
Yeah.
You like to say that a lot.
Yes.
The change you want to see,
you have to
the
believe
life you
that.
want to
Yes.
come.
Yeah.
You need to own it in
Yeah.
the place you're at.
Yeah.
That when you're like, it's not valuable until I get over here. This is not valuable. You are not showing up powerfully.
Yeah.
Like, and you're struggling and you're not having the impact you want. And so we just want to encourage you and empower you to own that space.
Yeah.
I just spilled my coffee.
Oh boy.
Sweet.
Well, there we go. That was Thursdays with Jason and Esther. But yeah, let us know if any of this resonates, if you had any of those struggles or questions or things that you've been wondering about. And if you have questions that we can help you with through our journey and our experience, we would love to do that. Talk to you, message us. And,
whatever.
We will be back next week, and we hope you have an awesome rest of your week, awesome weekends, and you are awesome, and
Cheers.
You have so much value.
Here's to you.
Yes.
In your mountain and sphere of influence.
Yes.
As a minister.
Yeah.
Of the kingdom, releasing the kingdom.
Yeah.
And the value system and the solutions of heaven on earth.
Yes.
And the upgrades.
Cheers to that.
Bye.